What did you surprise Shawty crew and hey my Daizee loves? I'm gonna keep this really, really quick. As you all know, we are really big Cowboys fans, right? And tonight we played the Eagles. The game was very intense, and right now our hottest wide receivers are CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. But before I go more into that, the Eagles Cowboys rivalry is like a tradition. It's like a known thing. It's been like that throughout history. Okay, they compete for the top spot in the NFC East, right? So like it's just a thing. And so the game is always intense because the fans are always intense. And also Morgan married a Eagles fan, so I think that's hilarious. So we're in a house full of Cowboys fans and we have one Eagles fan. But that's not the point. The point is, when we were watching the game and we were just kind of, observing what was going on, I was talking to my parents and I was like, okay, so the rivalry and the smack talk, and the craziness, that's turning Pickens up. And with Lamb, it seems like it gets in his head. He had a lot of dropped passes the last game that we played against him at the beginning of the season. And so we were just noting the differences. Like Lamb gets a little, you're not acting your normal self, because Pickens and Lamb supposed to be showing up as a dynamic duo, but it gets to Lamb differently. With Pickens, the joke in our house was, he liked the YN for the Cowboys. Like you can just tell. And then Morgan was saying, she was on the internet and they were saying he was the NBA young boy of the Cowboys, of the NFL or whatever. But the joke has been he was the YN of, the Cowboys. And when I tell y'all, like, the way he handled the game tonight is so differently than how Lamb did. Like, it literally turns him up. He's exactly who he says he is. And even at the end, when he started looking a little hurt and limping and wobbling and stuff, he was still making plays, still showing up, still catching passes. And I was just telling my dad, like, that's how I want to be. And he was looking at me like, you get it now. Like, let your haters motivate you. Let the jealousy turn you up. Let the opposition be proof like you are exactly who they say you are or who you think you are. Because if I wasn't who I thought I was, why y'all even got me under a two-man coverage like that anyways? But you get what I'm saying? It ain't never one against one. It ain't never that, right? Which they always have Lamb booked up like that anyways when we play against them, because he is one of our top wide receiver. Pickens was supposed to be coming up behind him. So anyways, I just want to encourage y'all with that, because that really got me a little turn tonight. Like, you know what? I told y'all last week I was turning over a new leaf, and that was like not being angry, but it's like, even some of the stuff I'm observing right now with some of the people that have inspired me the most in this season and influenced me the most in this season, I want to tell them, like, man, if you don't ignore them folks, they hating. Like, just let it go. But it's easy for me to see that in somebody else's life versus my own life. But let it turn you up for real, because I really like how he handled that. And we was talking about how, like, because that's our joke about Pickens and stuff, like, he don't get tired. He don't run out of energy. He out here playing on the field like he's still playing, like, street ball. Like, when he was little, like, it don't matter if they are choking him up, face masking him. That man still gonna catch the ball. It don't matter. It's in him. You get what I'm saying? And that's how we need to just show up. And I'll also say this on the flip side, because I feel like I can tell a lot about people by how they cheer for sports. And something that always irritates me is all the unnecessary talk people of other sports teams do when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. Because it's like, how you gonna come over here? Like, you're not a Cowboys fan. You shouldn't be over here. You shouldn't be speaking up. You shouldn't have nothing to say when we win. You shouldn't have nothing to say when we lose, especially if it's negative. You're not gonna catch me under any other sports teams post talking mess, because I don't care. I'm not their fan. I'm a fan of the Cowboys, and that's how I live my life. Like, I don't care enough to be worried about another team. I only care about the Cowboys. If the Cowboys win, if the Cowboys lose, I'm not gonna be underneath the Chicago team commenting and laughing at their stuff. Because even when last week, when Marshawn, okay, look, this is a whole word. I wasn't even planning on doing all this. Even the other week when Marshawn Nealon passed away, it was folks like who couldn't even see, like, that is an actual human being. This is beyond, sports. And they were still under the post talking crazy. Like, they had no sense. They had no compassion. And it was just like, it is not that serious. Like, this young man has lost his life. Okay. And I have been picking up on that. I actually had a dream this week and it really bothered me, because people who, they're very bully-like, whether it's cyberbullying or narcissistic abuse or whatever, like, they don't care how that makes you feel when they treat you like that. And y'all know I say that all the time. Like, being bullied like that can make you suicidal. So the dream I had, the person that bullies all the time, and I was trying to explain that to them, they were just laughing. Like, they didn't care that what they did to people made them suicidal. They didn't care that how they treated people made them suicidal. And that really threw me off in a dream. I was like, what? That actually really upset me. We might talk about it later more on the live, but I could tell then, like, some people really just do not care. Some people are so comfortable talking to you crazy on the internet, okay? They do not care. But the main point of this video being, let all of that turn you up. Clearly people think it's their job to troll, you know, other people's lives. Clearly people think it's their purpose in life, right, to hate. Let that be their job. Let that motivate you. Haters, get on your job. Like, right? Don't T.I. say that? Better get on your job. Like, let them get on their job. Because some people, they really are that evil. They really are that wicked. Let them do their job. And don't let that keep you from doing your job, right? Like, cause I'm telling, Pickens was like, he didn't care about none of that. Like, he was still celebrating, turned up every catch he made, like, cause he is George Pickens. The end. That's the end of it. You get what I'm saying? And we have to live like that. And I know it gets hard, and I know, especially when it feel like it's coming from everywhere and it's coming from people you least expect it, and it's like, why are you so worried about my life? You need to be worried about your life. Like, are you really a fan of your team if you're over here worried about us and our wins and our losses? Like, I don't really think you are a fan of your team. And when you think about that, like, they're not a fan of themselves. They don't like themselves. That's why they do that to you. They're so worried about your life, your wins, your losses. Like, they not a fan of themselves. People, if you were a fan of yourself for real, like how George Pickens clearly is, you ain't gotta clap for George Pickens. George Pickens clapping for George Pickens. You understand what I'm saying? But people who are really fans of themselves, they worried about themselves. People who are really fans of their sports teams, like, I'm really a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, so nobody else matters to me. I don't care about no other team unless we're playing them in that moment, or this team need to lose to put me in a better position to that extent. Like, but beyond that, no. Like, I don't care. So, yeah, that's just what I've been reflecting on after our football Sunday. Like, that's crazy. But my dad was like, you get it. Like, I do get it. That hate needs to motivate you, and it needs to turn you up. Let it turn you up. Don't have it to where it's so in your head and you can't do what we know you to do. Like, Lamb, why are you dropping these passes? And I love Lamb. This ain't, talk bad about him or nothing like that. But, like, we know you and Pickens were supposed to show up tonight as a dynamic duo. And that stuff really get in your head. It gets to you. For real. I'm not judging him because it's been getting to me for 30 years. For real. And I'm not no high-profile sports player. You get what I'm saying? But I could just see the differences tonight. And I was like, okay, so I really need to approach this stuff. Like, it was like Pickens was in his own world. And I knew even at the end of the day, even if they lost, I was like, he's still going to be straight and sleep great tonight. Not just because they're getting paid millions of dollars, but because he showed up and did what he was supposed to do. So that's all we can really worry about. Like, baby, you a fan of me. You really a fan of the Cowboys if you under their post laughing and talking mess and stuff, because you exerting a whole lot of energy over here for some people you're not a fan of. You really a fan of the Cowboys. You're confused. You're confused, right? Like, yeah, let it turn you up and know that they're a fan. Anybody hating on you, anybody taking that amount of time to, like, you putting a lot of energy over here. Let that turn you up. Let that negative energy they putting over here, let that turn you up. Don't let the negative energy make you drop passes, mess up plays, fumble the ball. Don't let that negative energy do that. Let that energy turn you up. I think I'm finna get a George Pickens jersey.